What's going on, y'all? Good question. That's a great question. I think I use pedals. Like I have like some Aguilar pedals, like a chorus. Right. I do use courses. I do use an Octaver, but I take them out sparingly if that makes sense. So like my course, it's always there because I don't use a course for the typical like that sound, that wavy sound. I don't always use it for that sound. Sometimes I like it for the low end. In a room, it boosts the low end. But the things that I have coming up, it's a lot of live shows where I need different textures of sound, right? Um, like I could make a printer board, but like then I have to do the power supply thing, and this allows me to send. How's the best way to put it? So, all right, my church setup like that I usually use is like I have the AG pedal, right? So even though I have the AG pedal, I also have the AG 500 head. So what was happening before, I was basically doubling up the sound. So the AG pedal was what you guys were hearing like on my videos on Instagram, but that same sound still doubled up and went to the cab, right? So with the quad, what I'm able to do, I'm able to split the signal, so I can still send. So I sampled my AG, which is this sound, peaking though, right? I'm able to send that to front of house, right? And I get that sound, but I'm not doubling that sound back because I have a separate out going. This is real nerdy. I have a separate out going to the cab now, which is just like a regular clean signal. So like it's just raw bass. Um, It's not doubling the sound. I'm not like compromising the cabinets or nothing like that. But I also, right, so like when I was playing Keybase or when I do play Keybase, I have a lot of stuff I gotta play Keybase. I can actually plug my Keybase up to this as well, right? And send that separate, or if like front of house ain't sweet, I could just send that one like line out with my bass and that. But like Forward City, when I would fill in there, they have two separate lines, one for bass, one for Keybase. So I can run all of that out of there. I use an expression pedal, so I can route my expression pedal for my bass, or if I'm just playing strictly keybase, I can actually route that expression pedal, which I have routed to like filter, so I can lower the filter or higher the filter through the expression pedal without having like two expression pedals. Um, so it makes my life easier. Now the main thing, am I going to use like all of the sounds like it's a bunch of sounds. Like I took like a filter, a chorus. I do have like this super like subby sound like so like I the crazy thing I use that at my church when it's just like a low moment. Um, like sometimes I don't want like a finger retone when I'm playing, like especially if it's like a prayer or even like R&B songs where it's just one of the moments where it's just a chorus, that first chorus. Everybody knows the first chorus. You don't do a lot of stuff in the first chorus. That's just like setting the tone for stuff. But that instead of like me having to go play it on my mood or whatever, I could just hit that patch and it like fills a room up. Um, so I'm 50-50. To be honest, I'm 50-50. And so, okay, so prior what I was doing for my Keybase setup, I was just using like a two channel or whatever. It don't matter the channels for real, but like a four channel mixer. So one side would go to my bass, the other side would go to well, channel one would be my bass, channel two would be my Keybase, right? And I just take that out and plug that out into whether it's a DI or a bass cab, right? Um, but some front of guys, like front of house guys, they prefer the signal separate so they can mix it separate. But like with the quad, if I needed to throw an EQ, like some rooms, what I'm saying, you can fill a room and it's not as the low end is not as what you. It's not your fault, but it's front of house fault. But you can add an EQ on here, and I can just boost that low end. Micah Moffitt put me hip to that. He plays with the Foster people. Um, Super cool bass player. You know what I'm saying? He put me hip. I was like, that makes a whole lot of sense. What else? So currently that I have in the multi joint, I got the quad cords. I just got it. I'm using. I use a lot of like core stuff. So this is just a filter for fun, for like funk stuff. Right. Like for fun stuff. This is like pretty much just all like sub. Then I have a distortion. Like sometimes in CCM I do like stuff like that, but just minor stuff. It is so much in here. It's so much in here. I do. So this is exactly the capture. So I captured. Let me see if I can switch. I'm gonna route. So this is the AG 700 bass cab. Well, the head, just the head. Peaking. I'm peaking because I'm running through my mixer. I ain't turning the gain down. This is it's flat. So let me so you can hear the indentation. That's flat. That's flat. That's flat. And this middle. Volume I gotta turn down some. Uh, that's flat. Like it's solid. It's solid. What I'm gonna do is route. Even though I got these split up. So right now I have one out going to like front of house. The other one is like to out three, which will go straight to my cat, which is bypassing the it's bypassing like the AG head. But I'm gonna go to multi out. I'm gonna bypass it. So this is the Neve capture. I think I know this right. Hold on. One, two. That's just like nothing. That's dry. So it definitely you know it's doing it. Go back to mono out output three. Yeah, there we go. And that's back with the AG. But it's yeah it's making my life easier when I finish with it. Right. So like I think of it like a process of like building a house. Like yeah, it's easy once the house is finished, but like getting the house built like from ground up, it take a second. You know what I'm saying? Get used to it. Like pouring concrete, the framing, all that stuff, wiring how you want it. You know what I'm saying? How exactly you want it once you move in. You still trying to figure out your furniture, where you want to put your TV. So it's kind of I think of it like the process of like that. So I can't say because I got it. It came what's the day? Tuesday. I got it Friday, but I was in Virginia, so I got home Saturday and church on Sunday. So like on Saturday, like I did some captures. I feel like I could redo some captures to make them a little bit better, but there are a lot of decent captures already on there, like Aguilar stuff. Some other people capture like the DB 751, the Tone Hammer stuff. Like it's the cabs now. I wish some people. I'm gonna try to capture my Aguilar cabs and make them on there, but I think on there there's only like a dark class and like some mark based stuff, but I'm not really a dark class. Dark class is like for me, even though they're trying to be better because actually Aguilar owns dark class, right? Which is crazy. So, but dark class has always been like the rock, the metal bass. You know what I'm saying? Between them and Mesa Boogie, like them two has always been like known for that. So the cabs are a little more not my taste, not my taste. Like it's a punch that I'm looking for. Now the 212 is not bad. It doesn't sound bad. 212s don't sound bad in general, but it's not my taste. And then the Mark bass is a little boomy. My dad plays Mark bass, so I know what they say. He has the little Mark and he has like 212s, like the single cabs. Um, but it saves me time. A little more in my setup because it's not even that much in my setup because everything's already routed. The cool thing, um, it's safe to scene, so I could lock the screen. I think a lot of people's fear is that like what if somebody walks by and taps your screen, or you accidentally tap something you shouldn't, like during the show, and it jacks up your whole situation. So you can lock the screen. It has a show mode that's separate, so you lock the screen, and then the screen just like it's just there. It's just a display at that point. It's not hard to unlock it if I needed to unlock it. I swipe up. They have a show mode. I don't know if you can see it on camera because it's blurry. I'm gonna pick it up. Yeah. So like that's show mode, so you can see exactly what you're using. Because normally it looks like I call it stump mode. Like normally it looks like just a block, so you don't know exactly like what you're pushing. But show mode is cool. It's cool. It's solid. It's a solid unit for sure. Am I gonna use it for the best for what it's actually made for? Probably not. But yeah, they do own it. The crazy thing, I almost got a anagram by Dark Glass because it's through with Aguilar, and I'm an Aguilar guy. Um, I almost got one, but the thing that got made me want to get this, and the anagram is solid. It's super solid unit. And they have their own IRs that they sample. Um, but this one I can sample whatever. If I wanted to sample my Neve, I could sample my Neve. If I wanted to sample a random boss pedal, I could. Like at any given point, the DI, my Neve DI, I captured. But like, I don't have to wait on anybody to like from the company to do it. I could just do it myself. I think that's why I went with the quad. So yeah, that definitely saves me a lot of trouble. That's a great question though. Those are some great questions. Um, yeah, Aguilar owns Dark Glass. They own Korg too. So I think a lot of people say so all right, hear me out. So my performance story of let me finish that last statement. So Aguilar also owns Korg. Well, Korg bought Aguilar. So in essence, Korg owns Aguilar and Dark Glass. So a lot of people think like what happened is during the pandemic, a lot of parts were hard to get. So Korg and Aguilar actually partnered up, and Korg had a lot of parts. A lot of people don't really play Korg like that, other than like MS2000 or some of their boards. So Korg partnered up with Aguilar, so they started using Korg parts and Aguilar stuff. So some overly Aguilar people are thinking that Aguilar doesn't sound the same or isn't the same. You know what I'm saying? Same technology, but I think Korg helped them push the technology side a little further. Um, I know the difference is so like the tone hammer pedal actually you can't use the old tone hammer pedal, the green one. You were able to use phantom power, right? So when I would go do like the Travis Green stuff, I would just take that pedal, plug it up. I ain't need a 18 because it's an 18-volt circuit. I ain't need an 18-volt plug. Um, or I could just use two batteries or whatever. But like Phantom Power, take the XLR, plug it up, tell them you need Phantom Power, it'll power right up. That was like literally the best pedal. And then the new stuff. So I got the new tone hammer. I ended up getting a new AG pedal just to like test stuff out. So the new stuff, I will say they don't take batteries and it's not phantom. It's not able to run by phantom power. So you do have to have an 18-volt like plug. But before Korg, the AG pedal didn't exist. And that AG is probably my favorite head. The DB series is probably my second. Tone Hammer is last. But they all sound great. Um, it's not off topic, bro. So my performance story. So this is my second performance, right? So my first one was a red one when I got that one. It was a great build. I felt like I was cheap on it, if that makes sense. I'm a believer, especially my wife. Like, if you're gonna buy something, like, just get what you want the first time. Save your money. You know what I'm saying? Don't cheat yourself, right? I always like Fender style basses, right? I tried to, I was anti Fender because I felt like they were old. My dad plays bass, so I hated the way, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's old. Like the new stuff is new. Um, so I am a Swole Ray fan, Derek Ray. I'm actually gonna have him like on the podcast soon, so we're gonna that'll be dope, and we can just talk. So he's definitely by far one of my favorite bass players. Of course, my bro Anthony Nemhard. I seen him a long time ago with a six-string performance, and I'm like, yo, what the heck is that? And then I seen Adam Blackstone with a performance, so I'm like, yo, like what is that, and why does it sound like that? So like the Sting Records, like Marvin Sapp's Thirsty album, that performance is killing, right? So I had a few, I had a few, I had MTDs, Ken Smith, and stuff like that. But those weren't workhorse basses, right? So my rare performance, I did a tour Trey, and I was like, yeah, I should have got one of these a long time ago. So I sold that, right? I sold the performance, and then I ended up getting the Fender Ultra 2, right? So the Ultra 2, the biggest thing for me was the point was cool. Fender upgraded, they updated the whole circuitry, so it now has like the passive tone. Passive tone is a killer thing for a bass. This doesn't have it, but like if you can get passive tone on a bass, like get it. Like it's actually dope. It makes EQing easier because you don't have to like turn up and down treble. You just turn the knob and roll some of the harshness off like a P bass. The price point was solid. I think the Ultra 2s are what, like 20, 21, 2200 or something like that. Um, but like it's the neck was okay. The performance, I will say, and oddly low end. My performance is the easiest bass to play. It's the easiest bass. It plays great. Like it's the best bass to play. I'm not even being funny. I think the pickups sound great, like flat as is, right? Like remember I was talking about like even though I'm picking but like as a flat bass, Yaz figured out like these pickups sound the best. Stop pickups. The next thing is um, how much output that you get. The Ultra 2, my biggest thing is one place that I play at is just a regular DI. I don't take anything special. It's just a regular, $100 DI. And from there, that's it. All right. And then P16s. So when I go there to play, I hate when people be like, "Hey, are you up?" And I got the bass full. I'm doing everything I can, but there's nothing else to do. And granted, like front of house can turn gain up, right? But like I don't like having to ask people for stuff. Like I could, but like this is a place where I'm visiting, so like I don't want to have them to alter their stuff because I'm just there for 20 minutes or whatever, right? So the only bases I haven't had to do that with was like MTD, which had like a gain booster with that Bart Pre, the Ken Smith, and like that's really it. So like a lot of places, even with stuff, they were like, "Were you up?" And the Ultra 2, I was like, man, even as an 18 volt, like this is a 9 volt base. The 18 volt, it just wasn't doing it for me. And then everybody was like modded, but I spent, 22, $2,300 on a base. I don't want to mod it. Like I'm older. I feel like now I should just be able to get a bass and just be able to plug it up and play without having to like mod it. There's no gain. If they had a gain like boost in there where I could turn that preamp up, I probably would have still had it. Okay, great question. So, my rare performance was, and I can't use the word cheaper. I just didn't performance is my dream base, right? But like it's like getting a car, like your dream car, but you don't have everything that you wanted, right? So you get your dream car, but instead of having push to start, you got a key, or you don't got Apple CarPlay, you still got a regular, CD deck in there. And then granted, if you like the classic stuff, that's a little bit different. But like if you want a new like your new GT3 RS, right? Like a 2027 GT3 RS, you expect to have all the bells and whistles. And so what I mean by I cheaped out on my bass, I got 21 fret, which is 21 fret is okay, but I play a lot of CCM stuff. So a lot of stuff I had to play past the 12. I can do it on the 21 fret. So if okay, I'm gonna answer your next question. So for 38, that's actually a great buy. That's a really good buy. So the secret is as long as it has the stock pickups, you are great. A lot of people who have performances have changed their preamps. I can tell you only one person that I know personally that has the stock pre, and that's Joshua Easley. That's doing the Major J. Blige tour. Like he has a stock performance. Everybody else's minds, everybody, Swole, everybody has Morris Fitzgerald is a modern performance, and that's okay. Um, and sometimes the performance preamps are hit or miss. Right, they just hit or miss, and it's not really Yaz. It's just what it is. You really get the performance for the feel and the pickups. As long as you got the stop pickups, You're perfect. In my base, I have a Bartolini. I have the TCT Pre. I'm putting it out there. A lot of people don't know, but I have the Bart TCT Pre. My red one, I started the stock. I went Aguilar to OBB3 because I love that pre. Then I put like a low end pre in there. Um, but I went cheap. So 21 fret. So this one is a 24 fret. So I got full. I got my range. My spacing is different. Yes, has its own personal spacing. Oops. I don't think Yass's spacing is not even like a 60s or 70s. It's like it's somewhere between, but it doesn't sound bad. It doesn't sound bad. Um, and I did the spacing different just off of whim of somebody else because I like the way theirs sounded. Which is bad. Don't be a follower. But this is 70s pickup spacing, and I think the 70s pickup spacing is the best jazz bass sound ever. Um, I have a tinted neck. I tinted my neck on here. So this typically isn't stock, so it has like the vintage Marcus Miller tint on the neck. What else? Of course, the pre, changed the pre. During the pandemic, I got that red one. Um, to history of Yaz, he has always use badass bridge pickups, right? So actually, my red one didn't have it. I bought one later to eventually put it on there, but I put it on another bass that I sold to my friend Reggie. So this has the badass bridge, but costs a little more. 24 fret costs a little more. Pickup space and change costs a little more. Um, pre, of course, different. It's not his pre, which I don't mind. I had strap locks. Well, I added strap locks later because they charge for that, but it's not hard to put strap locks on. Um, I want to say that's pretty much it. I think. Bro, shoot me a message on Instagram, and I got you. Let me see if I can type. I'm gonna see if I can type my Instagram in here. Yeah, for sure. Hold on. But the performance is a solid base. It's a really solid base. It's the workhorse. Like it don't get no better. You see Swole back playing his green one, and I got a green one. Yeah, it's my wife's favorite color, but like both bases, my performance I copy off of Swole. He had a red one, I got a red one, but both hairs are 24 fret, and I'm like, yo, like it's killing. He's back playing his green one with Kurt, so it's they good bases. That's a great question though. That's a great question. I'm supposed to be on here learning music. Yeah, that's a great question. But yeah. Any questions? Hit me up. But you'll probably never play a better bass. Some people think they're kind of heavy. I don't think they're heavy at all. Um, it's a reason why they pop up. They're going just like that. I ain't mad at that. Yeah, you can. Yeah, the ZX can go. The ZX can go. Yeah, that ZX can go. You'll be more happy with a performance. But it's a reason why they're not like online. If you think about it, Yaz doesn't have no endorsing artists. Like he don't even got that many followers on Instagram. Performance guitar does not have that many followers on Instagram. Performance is like a if you know type of bass. I always get questions about it when I'm out because they don't have to do nothing. Um, I'm not mad like other basses. You got to turn knobs. Like that's cool. But like this bass is by far the easiest bass ever to play. Every time somebody put it in their hand, they're like, "Yo, this is easy to play." Now, does it take a long time to get? Yes, it takes a while. I mean, I think it took him, and I say that because I had so much change. It took him a while to build because of my mods. And the crazy thing, I'm actually getting a second one built now. Um, it's gonna be different. This one is maple and ash body, maple neck. Of course, the next one is gonna be same setup, but it's gonna be 21 fret, alder body, rosewood fretboard. So two different tones, and I decided like I was looking at Snoop. Oh, Snoop has two stock, fully stock performances. So, my fault. Joshua Easley has one, and then Snoop, both of his performances, that black one and the blue one, are totally stock, bone stock, no mods. Yeah, if you can find one, all right, look, get it. If you can find one, I always tell people if you can find one, like I think as long as it's not all beat up, you know what I'm saying. But like if it's a solid like in solid condition and has the as long as it has the performance pickups, you have a performance. None of us, me, Tim, Ramsey, I'm trying to think who else, Chico that played at NCT, Austin Blackman, like none of us have stock performances. Maurice Fitzgerald, his white one, I think it has. I don't think I know. It has an Aguilar pre in it. Swole stuff is Bards, so it's you know it's a lot. It's a lot, and there's some solid stock ones out here, but you know live they don't get no better. Like them older war shows. My friend texts me if I updated COD. I ain't do it yet. I'm trying to think. Hopefully these songs don't get copyrighted, man. I think I should be all right. A lot of these songs I kind of know because of like the history. Like it's church anniversary this week, so like typically once a year we play like a specific song. Yeah, it take them EMGs out, put the stocks back in it. Get them EMGs out, get the stocks back in it. The EMGs are cool, but nah, not for that. I think that's all, Michael. Yeah, put the stock ones back in there, and then you'll be perfect. I'm not hating on MGs. They're a little brighter. I think MGs would go well in Fenders actually. So like Fenders do well with MGs. Um, what else? Like I see a lot of people with MGs in their Demarcus Miller Fenders. Okay, all right. So so my first this is the story behind me and like the modern sound or soap bar pickups. I think soap bars are cool, right? Um, I used to be everything soap bar. If you watch the history of my basses, like the history of the basses that made my career, like all of those basses in the beginning were soap bar pickups. I like the way soap bars sound. I like the MTD sound, right? Those were soap bars. I always thought jazz basses were a little older. I'll get to that Chinese question too. I always thought soap bars were a little bit older. I mean, jazz basses were a little bit older because my dad plays bass, so I would see him with like a jazz bass or like a Music Man, even though it's um, dang, I guess Music Man has his own name. He has a Music Man pickup. I was like trying to think of the name for a Music Man pickup. But I always thought it was a little bit older to see jazz basses, so like I was anti jazz. And then I played one for Kiera Sheard. Um, it was a Fender Ultra one, and I was like, hey, this isn't bad. This isn't bad. So I ended up buying a Fender, like older, like an old one jazz, and I liked the jazz sound. I ended up liking the jazz sound. Just like me and P bass, I was anti P bass for a long time. And I got a P bass, and I was like, I don't play no other bass on records other than my P bass with some flats. I think soap bars are cool with the right setup, right? I think they sound better with rosewood necks. I don't think they sound great with um, maple necks. I think they sound great with darker tones. Jazz basses, I find that, or the jazz pickups, I find that I can get away with a lot of genres in one space. I can get a nice palm mute sound. I can get an aggressive sound. I can get an articulate sound out of jazz pickups versus soap bars, but I can't knock soap bars at all. Cause my MTD, it was whooping ass, bro. My MTD, that 535 whoop some tail, bro. Like it's a great bass. All right. So the story behind, yeah, Ethan, man. So me and Damo, they're related. We're super cool. We talk bases a lot. Ethan definitely was probably the pioneer for people to get, performance bases because he's out there, right? And Swole, right, who I copied my performances off of, he copied his performances, his green ones particularly off of Ethan, right? And Ethan got all his bases. I tried to buy one. I tried to buy Bosa off of Ethan. I tried to buy a performance off of Ethan, and he has both of them locked away in storage. They're not getting played like that because he got his signature Ethan Farmer bass mods that he play a lot. But that his bass mods actually sound great too. Um, Johnny's. All right, my Johnny's story. I bought a Johnny's. I put it in a Fender. I feel like Johnny's are great preamps, but it's so much. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Um, I think if your cavity isn't like shielded well, I had to shield my cavity really, really, really well because it's a hot pre, right? So I think the first knob is volume and then passive tone, right? And then but it has and it was treble. Nope, volume, passive tone, right? But the volume had a pull out, right? And it had like a 6 to 10 kilohertz boost where it gave you that sparkle on like slap sounds, right? But when you pulled it, it gave you like an extra hiss or a buzz. Then you had mids, and then you had low mids, high mids, low mids, right? So you got a 4 band EQ, you had bass and treble, and then I lied blend, yeah, and then blend. So it was like a lot. My setup was volume, the push pull, and then pan, high mid, low mid, treble bass, and then passive tone was the last knob. And then it had two switches. The first switch, which is kind of cool. So like if I wanted to just go like full front pickup, um, I could do that. And then it had a switch that automatically turned both pickups back on. So like no matter what you did with the pan, it wouldn't work. So you had the option to push it up, and then it'll blend, and then the other position it wouldn't blend at all. Then like um, active passive or whatever. But Johnny preamps are cool. They're cool. I think they work better in. I know somebody has one in performance. Actually, I know somebody has one in performance. It's solid. You got to have a lot of space in your cavity for a Johnny's because it's a lot. I put a Johnny's in my dad's Music Man. We still have the original stuff. He has a 1980 Music Man. It's red. I put a Johnny's in there, and it has like a Bartolini pre he put in when I was like a kid. But Johnny's are great. They take a lot. Like you gotta really have an ear for Johnny's. Like if you don't know like your tone or what sound you're looking for, I wouldn't recommend any 4 band preamps for anybody. I don't play with high mid, so I turn the high mid off completely anyway from the rip. Um, that definitely might be what it is because I had it paired with a jazz and a Music Man pickup by Aguilar and a Fender, right? So somebody had modded a Fender Deluxe with and put a Music Man in there. Aguilar pre that's in the video too. Um, but it's solid. That bass was great. I did some runs with that bass like in like Mexico and some other places. That bass was great. The preamp sounded great. You know what I mean? It was really punchy. But if you don't know what you're doing with a 4 band EQ, I do not recommend anybody getting it until you know like your tone. Because my one of my I think the second bass, my first custom bass, I probably was only playing like a couple years, and I was cooked with that bass. And somebody else saying it was great, but I didn't know nothing about like mid. So that's a great question though. Also, man, if I should go live more, man, so we can do like active talking about bases. If I don't know anything, like I'm always willing to learn, and if I don't know, I always know somebody who does. So don't hesitate to ask questions or hit me up on Instagram, ask questions. So I'm here to help. I want everybody to be the best them. We can talk base caps. We can talk all of that. What soap bars are there? The out. I will say the Johnny's. If you if you coming from a two band, the Johnny's pre will definitely wake your bass up. Um, the Johnny's will definitely wake that bass up. If you coming from a two band, it is like I said, it is a hot preamp. So make sure if you decide to do it, it's easy to mod because everything is you don't have to solder anything. Everything is one of those jacks you just screw the wire in as long as you know what you're doing. They got directions and stuff like that. Um, yeah, and make sure you shield your cavity. You can buy like copper tape on Amazon and just stick it in the cavity. You'll be fine. I haven't. I heard great things about those Ibanez's. My first bass that I ever bought was an Ibanez BTB. Of course, I modded it later, but I bought it because it came with the big single Nordstrand pickups, and I put Aguilar pre in there. That bass did great. I played the jungle on a lot of records, but I heard Ibanez been stepping their game up, stepping their game up. Ibanez has never been a bad bass. They've never been bad basses. I think us as musicians, we always get caught up in the name. Um, Even though performance has a name, a lot of people still don't know about performances, right? And it's just one of those bases. Like if you know, you know. But like Ibanez makes some really great bases. Um, am I a GK fan? A lot of my bros try to get me to be GK fans. I enjoy GK. I don't like that's second on my rider. If my rider doesn't have Aguilar stuff, it's GK and then Fender. I might switch them though. Go like Aguilar, Fender, GK because the Fender stuff is really really good. GK for me comes off as a little harsher, like flat, like it's just naturally harsh. It's more so like the tweeters, not really the cab. I think the best cabs that GK have right now is the new Neos. They smack. Um, I played it when I put up on my boy Tim Ramsey's house. He has one. They smack. And then the RBH cabs. Before Aguilar, I actually owned a GK, the big 500, like the Fusion 500, 550. I'm sorry, and I had a 14 RBH cab. It was heavy as hell. He- Heavy. That cab was heavy. Heavy. All right, and I have a truck trying to put that cab. Man, heavy. I've been with Aguilar since 2020, 2021. But before that, yeah, I had a GK cab. That was a heavy cab. Um, the DCBs are slept on pickups by Aguilar. I think if you get a Squire Contemporary, yeah, if you put the DCBs in there, you'll be great. The DCBs bring out a different tonal character than the rest of the Aguilar stuff, which is I think underrated. The DCBs are definitely an underrated pickup because they make jazz pickups, the DCB jazz and the DCB P bass. Um, I also been scared to get them though. Like I know friends, I have friends with them, but I've been scared to get them but I was also like that when I had when the Bartolini came out with the B Axis pickups. I was terrified to get them because the person whose bass, I'm not gonna say I heard it, man. I thought it sounded terrible. I thought it sounded like crap, and then I got him. I was like, hey, this is great. So I think risks come with a lot of stuff, but like the DCBs, I don't think he'll be mad at having. So we were just talking about it. This is why I bought. I don't know why it's blurred out. Like it got some bad words, but I bought the Quad Cortex for that situation. So depending on where I'm performing at, like my rider is, it's always been two DB 751s, two DB 410s, two DB 115s, right? Or two DB 751s, two GS 410s and another two GS 410s. Well, two GS 410s. Yeah, so two 410 cabinets by the GS series, which are they don't make no more, which are probably the best sounding Aguilar cabs, right? So, with white noise, like the hissing, right? Sometimes, so I can show you right now. So I have a gate on this. So hold on, you can hear that, but I have a gate on here. It cuts off. Yeah, the gate cuts it off. So hissing, white noise is a lot of things, but like I said, I think when I said that GK cabs are a little harsh, right? Um, that's probably what I meant because like it naturally wants to go bright. Like it naturally wants to go bright. I'm cool on bright. I got a bass that's I can't call this bass bright, but it naturally wants to like. And this is flat. If I turn my treble up, like you know what I'm saying, turns to glass, and I don't like glass. We don't like glass. We're bass players. We're not guitar players. I don't like glass. But GK, I will play GK. I'm not anti GK. I won't be like, it's GK. I can't play it because I played one when I went to Canada 2 years ago. I think that vlog is on my YouTube actually. Yeah. So the Canada trip, the first Canada stop had my. They lost my luggage. They had my Canada didn't lose my luggage. It was American Airlines lost my luggage, but they had my rider like a single 751 410, and then the one in Montreal they had the GK, the new GK Neo, but it had the fusion head, and for whatever reason that head got really hot. But it's a tube head, so tube heads sound better the hotter they get. Which is you know what I'm saying, but it takes a long time for it to get to that tone. So versus like just turning on, I think the DB series is a tube head amp too, but it doesn't take as long for it to warm up. For whatever reason, the GK, even the Fusion 550 when I owned it, it took a long time for it to warm up. And so the head would get louder as time went on, which is cool, right? I like tube sounding amps. It's just a little slow for me. I think the new cabs sound better than the old Neos. I think if you were for a personal setup, if you had a choice, if I had a choice between 410s and 212s, depending on what I do, 212s will always be my go-to setup. 212s are probably if I can get if they still had the DB 412 setup cabinets, that would be my personal setup. Um, so, um, dang, I just talked about that too. So, I'm with Aguilar. I'm endorsed by Aguilar. So Aguilar actually owns Dark Glass. So I was probably this close to getting the anagram. The reason I didn't get the anagram and went with the Quad Cortex instead is because with the anagram there are IRs already made, and a lot of those you have to wait on somebody to make them. Not necessarily you, and you can put them in there at the library, and then people make them. But it's certain things that I just want to create by myself. So like I did do, this is the Neve 1073. I did create an IR for that, and I did do my Neve RDI DI. And I don't have to wait on anybody to do it for me to create. And I also went with the Quad Cortex because routing. So I can plug my Keybase in here, I can plug my bass in here, and I can route them separately or send them down the same line. I can send a nice DI to front of house. I can have a separate out for my bass, and I won't be doubling up on like amp emulator or a cab simulator. Going into my rig and messing my rig up, or just doubling up on sound for no reason, or having that amp simulator on my Keybase chain. All right, so some places I go, Keybase, they want it separately. I have some city winery stuff coming up in October, and I want my stuff separate. I don't want my mood going down the same line as my bass. But if that just so happens, I can still route that. I can route that separately, um, Like I can send all my chain stuff to front of house, and then for my cab, I can just send a clean keybase signal without it being doubled up or something. You know what I mean? So I don't think the Enneagram it can do that with routing. I think the learning curve is probably the same because they do make a small quad cortex, the same size as the Enneagram. But the Enneagram is definitely a solid unit. If you're just looking for like multi effects, I would definitely go like Enneagram. If you care about like your multi effects and your limitless like stuff. I've been seeing people on YouTube do live recordings with a vocalist, guitar, bass, and like even some tracks. So the legacy heads are cool. I played one legacy head. I played one legacy head, the 1200, but it was like in a combo though. So like I was saying, my boy Tim Ramsey when I was in Texas, I stopped at his house. He had the 410 combo, and it's back. I was trying out his basses. If you know Tim, he has a bunch of basses. Trying out his basses, and the cabin was cool. I didn't have no problems with it. For the record, I don't have no problem with GK stuff. GK stuff makes good stuff. I think the newer stuff is better than the older stuff. But for me, I know Aguilar naturally favors the mid range, and I like mid range. Oh yeah, all the time. The last I seen the Mary Mary joint that's on my YouTube. That Keybase. I didn't have this then. I just got this. So then I was just using a mixer, like a 2 channel mixer, 4 channel. Well, it's 4 channel Mackie mixer. So my bass was in input one, and my Keybase was in input two, and that out was going straight to that cab. I was like, you know what I'm saying? So even and I'm saying this too. So even when I do decide to send separate routing to front of house, I'm still able to send um, a signal to my cab. So on this front of house to get output one going for bass, output two would be Keybase, right? But nothing on it. It'll just be like no special stuff. It'll be my Neve DI actually, the Neve IR for it. Input one has the AG700 IR on it, and then the output. So they got their two separate outs. So output three, it will have bass and it will have Keybase, but it would be just a clean flat output to my cab, so it ain't doubling up on like no extra stuff. Oh, Anthony Nemhard is like one of my man. Me and him go back. That's me and him literally talk every day. That's literally like even though he only a few years older than me, but he's like a big bro because of like what he's done in the industry. You know what I mean? He always looked out for me when I first started playing bass. Like he was one of those bass players that wasn't um, gatekeeping. Yeah, gatekeeping is gonna be the word we use. He wasn't gatekeeping. Like a lot of bass players gatekeep. He didn't do that to me. Um, how do you route your setup to front of house to EDI register? So on my streams, well, not my streams, my Instagram videos. That's crazy. That's a great question. So even though I have the AG, it's a the AG 500 head with a DB 4 ohm cab. So I have a 4 ohm cab at church. I actually own a 4 ohm SL cab too. We'll get into ohm loadage in a second. So but I also have the AG head. I mean the AG pedal, which I recently removed since I have the Enneagram. So there, I wouldn't route out of the cab. I probably should have, but I didn't always have that Acular cab. In order, the church wouldn't give me another rig until my other one broke. So it broke. And so I had the pedal before I had that set up. So I was running my front of house signal out that DI. I probably will start doing it now. If I'm out or I have a fill in, they will be using the DI out the head. Great question. Yeah, gatekeeping, bro. Gatekeeping is the worst. The simplified, yeah, the mixer thing is kind of annoying. It's just unnecessary cables. If your church have the lines available, when I was doing so like on the side, I would do like backline stuff. It's a company out of Macon, Georgia, Omega Backline. They will hire me if a concert's in my area and I'm not, I'm free. They will hire me to do backline stuff. And so I didn't work with like Smokey Robinson and Stokely from Mint Condition. I did 2 days with Anthony Hamilton. His bass player had Aguilar set up and Keybase set up. So front of house would get a bass signal and then separate line going to Keybase. So it was cool. It wasn't a bad setup. And then Forest City, like I said, I don't know if you were here yet, when I do stuff with Travis Green, like his front of house person, they prefer two separate signals. And then so that's why I went the quad cortex route too. So I could have two separate signals going out, and then just one going to a rig if I had a rig. The Travis Green stuff is like it's all quad stage, um, so there's no you know no rig. And this last tour I did with my boy Reggie, it was a quad stage too. So with that, I would just take my Neve DI and just rock out. But I didn't have to play Keybase on that. So, but if I did, I just had an anagram, make it super easy. Yeah, Justin can play, man. Justin Reigns that's a dog. When it comes to bass playing, man, like some chops, bro. Like, man, once you finish some lessons, bro, I have to shoot you a couple of dollars so you can show me what you learned. Cause yeah, Justin got some moves on him, bro. What else we got on here? It's some great questions, man. I appreciate y'all. Now the real question is, how often should I do this? I know like tomorrow I'm gonna be. I always said I was gonna stream during rehearsals. My rehearsals are always, I'll probably be live at like 6:30 Eastern Standard Time for my church rehearsals just to see, what that looks like for me. I said I was gonna, show you my process of learning music, which is it's not bad. Some of the stuff I kind of already know. I just haven't played in a while, so it's more so of a reminder. It has some lines. Um, like a lot of the stuff has it's church anniversary, so a lot of this, we record our rehearsals. So yeah, I learn that stuff. It's not bad. Strings. All right. Even though I am endorsed with SIT strings, right? The fusions would be the strings that I grab. I'm kind of impatient when it comes to stuff though, so like I can't just go to like a Guitar Center or a Sims Music and grab SIT strings. Um, right now on this base is Elixirs. Everybody say that Elixirs kind of fell off after the pandemic. They're a little bit different, but like if I needed a string that I know that's gonna last for, um, I probably ain't changed these strings in, to be honest, in 2 months. I did a whole tour, in still August, but it started at the end of July. Yeah, end of July, and it just ended. The last show was last week. Um, Man, I haven't changed these strings, and still they smack. I probably won't change them again till I'm waiting on this call. Y'all pray for me. Y'all pray for me. If I get this call, to do this call for this next gig at the end of the month, I'm gonna change my strings. But yeah, pray for me because that gig could be it's gonna be a changer. But I will. Elixirs cost a lot, but Elixirs gonna last you 3 months without changing. These are the 130 to 45s. The nickels. I don't like the way steel feels on my fingers, so these are the nickel strings. But yeah, even though I am with SIT strings, I like the Elixir strings. And man, Z Line, the crazy thing, bro, they allow you to do whatever you want with their bass, whatever you can think of. Like they make them like looks wise, and it's like Z-Line ain't slept. I appreciate that though. I hope it does. Yeah, hopefully this situation. Granted, the city winery stuff is with the same music director, but he also has some other accounts. I don't. I'm big. I don't. They say you have to speak it into existence, but I don't want to like dig myself into a hole because um, I just want to do that gig. I never. I've been in a lot of places, bro, but I never did a gig in my city, like in my home city where I'm from. Never. I've been like other parts of Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Played everywhere, but I never did a gig in my home, like on my side. You know what I'm saying? Like my hood. I never did that on the south side in Atlanta. So um, it'll be fire to like do a gig. The nickels are solid. These are nickels. So like most of the time, every performance video, I haven't put the crazy thing. I haven't put SRT strings on this bass at all. So every video you see with the green performance, I lied. I had SRTs on here. But for the past like 2 months, like 3 months, these have always been elixirs. Great question. Ears. Let's talk ears, man. I should go get my ears. I don't want to leave y'all though. Hold on. Y'all stay right here. Don't move. I'm gonna go get my ears. I'm back. Let's talk ears. All right. So, P game. Should I based on fall? So in 2019, 2019, I got endorsed with 64 Audio, right? So I ended up buying my music director at my church. He's like a big bro. He's also like Keith Set music director. He's played with like Fantasia and Teddy Riley. So he's taught me a lot like music stuff. I didn't really have a bass teacher, so I always call him my bass teacher. But why am I tired? Go to the gym, y'all. So I bought six drivers. These are six drivers by 64 Audio, right? They sound great. They sound great. Ask me what they sounded great at. They only sounded great when I would do stuff at like Forward City with Travis, or that's it. That's really it. I never wore my church. I always wore Audio Technicas because they're flat. These are six drivers, right? These are my backups right now. But I actually have some more in ears from the other company coming soon. So these will be my backups. But they also, they used to see the ear canal thing, right? 64 Audio are great. They're great. They sound good. But your in ears, what I learned early, your in ears are only going to sound as good as the person mixing, right? Um, so like if we would go somewhere and they had a different audio engineer and his mix sucks, like no matter what you do, he, you know what I'm saying, you can have everything balanced, but if the mix sucks, ears are gonna suck. That's just the truth. So at church, I would just wear the Audio Technica AX50s, I think. Um, and then Joshua Easley, like one of my bros, um, he's with Bellows. All right, so I've probably been with Bellows going on 2 years now. They still were fairly new. I got with Bellows. I was in Houston actually when me and Andy were Vlad was talking. So Bellows used to be with Fur Audio, right? There were some of the designers with them, um, and they came up. They figured out how to fix the seal. So even though those were modes with my 64s, if I showed expression or laughing, interacting with people, um, it would the seal would break. So I would hear outside noise. So you see a lot of people when they do, the whole like what's the like trying to reseal the ears, right? So Bellows, he said they figured it out. So they fixed the seal on these. So I have never, ever. I said I was gonna do a YouTube video on this, but I just never did. I might clip this. I've never, ever had to reseal my ears with the Bellows, right? So these are the X4s. They sound great. They got the whole spectrum. They sound great with bass. They sound great with key bass. They got lows. You get the punch. They also don't go all the way down your ear canal, right? So they're molded, but they still have like plastic tips on there. They come with more tips, but these just the ones they came with. I never changed them. They got my initials on the inside and stuff like that. The green because they match my bass. I got the sevens that just came out, the Monarch sevens. They should be here actually probably a couple weeks. The seven drivers. So I'm gonna see what those sound like. I've never had to reseal my ears. And that's like the main thing, bro. When it comes to playing, the last thing you want to be in your mind is after playing. You hear outside noise, so you naturally want to do this, right? So some mold companies, like I know everybody be saying like what juicy ears and stuff like that, and they probably sound great, right? But my thing is like everything has to be, it has to make sense, right? If I got custom molds, right, they're custom, they're supposed to fit you, right? You shouldn't have to be resealing your ears all the time. So, Gold Walton, he's a drummer at the church. My boy Reggie, that plays bass. They listen and they got him. They literally said the same thing: the best ears ever as a drummer. If you play drums and using both hands, well, all musicians use both hands, but you won't have to reseal your ears; they stay. And so, like for the first, I will say, if you do decide to go to Bellows, mention my name, you might get a discount. You know what I'm saying? He might give you a discount. But yeah, the build time isn't long, the repair time isn't long, because the shells are they have screws, like right. So if you need repair, they can take the screws off and just repair your ears. The 64 audios, they're like molded differently, so like they probably had to destroy your whole situation for them to get them repaired. But yeah, for me, Bellows, and I'm not even funny. They sound like great. They sound great. They sound great at church too, because I never wore my modes at church because like I don't know, it just sounded weird. Maybe because the 64 is the six driver, so they were a little boomy, but because I played bass, but like it wasn't a balanced boom. It was just like an old school Chevy. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot. It's a lot of bass, and I like bass. The build time was fast. I think I got the four drivers like fast. Like I think I want to say it took 3 months to get my 64s. I had to get molded and all that stuff. 6 months, and then these I got these in 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. Like so, I'm waiting on the Monarch Sevens. So I'm curious to see how those sound. But I heard nothing but great things about those two. The first couple, I heard the Aurora strings are cool. I heard they have like a coating on them that a lot of people don't like. I know I got some personal friends of mine that are with Aurora and they like the strings. The crazy thing, Aurora wasn't messing with me. I tried to, what I'm saying. I wanted to see, what the strings were like, but I don't know. Maybe I did something. I don't know. They weren't messing with me. But I think the first couple joints is like October 4th and whatever the next week after that. They're both on Mondays. Um, the 12th, and my birthday is the 15th. October 5th in Atlanta. I'm gonna be with what's bro name? Mike from Day 26. I guess he's doing his own thing, so I'm gonna be there with him. And then the weekend after that, or the week after that, it'll be with Lazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony. So that'll be fun. So at the City Winery. So I don't know what they're looking like for dates wise. I don't know if they are gonna stick to Atlanta or they're trying to see like if he does well, like we can go whatever. But that same MD who's over that, he has, like I say, he has a lot of accounts. So and potentially one account for me and actually two accounts for me. So I'm hoping, we praying. We thank God for the work regardless, but we still, you know what I'm saying? If there's more, we want more. That's some great questions though. Yeah, ears. That's definitely somebody at my door. Garbage. Um, John is a. I mean, John is John from Felton. You know, I had a Felton, right? I had a Felton. I actually still have it. A lot of people think I sold it. My dad plays it. I let my dad, you know, get it. He plays it a lot, but that Felton's a great bass. John from Felton. John is a really great guy. Like, really great guy. Makes some great basses. So yeah, I have a Felton. Big bottom. I played big bottom strings too before, and big bottom strings are cool. I know for a while though. I think I tried to get some, bro. Like order some. I know I see them they in stock now, but now I'm just like whatever. But like, um, then I was exclusively playing big bottom strings before I got with SIT, and I don't know what happened. I know Warrior and them were really close. Like so, Warrior basses, the big bottom strings, and big bottom preamps. From Warrior, and then like I don't know. It's just like they just like disappeared. Instagram disappeared. Um, I couldn't find any. How you liking that Felton though? Felton's is a super solid bass. Not for sure. Also, man, if y'all want me to like like do this more, and we could just chop it up about bass and stuff. Let me know. And we'll pick a day. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people work during the day. I don't be doing nothing. I play music full time, so um, Mondays are typically my off days. Monday's my off day. Tuesday is kind of like whatever I decide to do, whether it's recording content or learning music. That's what I do. And then Wednesdays usually be rehearsals. Thursday I'm probably out of town. Friday I'm out of town. Saturday I'm on the way back home. Oh yeah, Mario. Let me tell you something about Mario. Let me tell you something about Mario. Mario Mario has always been my motivation. So my music director Chris Tompkins and Mario Smith, they came up. They used to play together a lot. Mario is like literally my big brother. If you ask Mario about me, he'll tell you. So from the very beginning, Mario has always been there. But Mario has always been my music director's first choice when it comes to getting calls because Mario can play some bass. Even though he play a lot of guitar now, Mario is literally the best bass player ever. Right. So everything, you know what I'm saying? So this one particular story, they used to do this workshop, right? And Mario used to come down for this particular one. Marvin Sapp was coming, right? So I think Marvin Sapp came this year. The next year, like Todd came, right? So Mario came. I ain't gonna lie, I was coming off of surgery. I had ankle surgery, so I was just playing like with the other groups. So Mario was playing with the main choir and Marvin, right? And so Marvin done his thing. He went off grid and started singing something completely different, all right? Um, and Mario is like whooping tail, bro. Whooping ass, dog. Like Mario is killing. And then I looked up in the balcony, and Chris, he looked at me and he mouthed. He said, "This is why." And I'm like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So Mario has always been like my. I ain't gonna call him competition because he's my big bro, but like he's always been like one of those persons like who motivated me to be better. So like, but now it's to the point where like if I'm around, they'll call me and Mario play guitar, right? So I work my way up to get there, but Mario is definitely like the is literally my big bro when it comes to basses, dog. So, but Mario's cold. Mario's cold. But I used to be pissed, like, well, I'm here, you know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of people as musicians, we kind of forget, like, Like there's a process to like everybody wants to go tour and play on these big gigs and do all this other stuff, but it's it's more than that, right? Because we don't nobody wants to put you in a position where you're not ready, right? So the main thing is always making sure that you're ready. But how do you get ready, right? You don't know. And then one thing somebody told me, like if Beyonce called you right now, could you confidently say that you're ready to go do this show? And if you can't confidently say yeah, I mean like all of it, program Keybase by yourself, like can't call nobody to help you program. Can you walk out there, dance, and do all this other stuff? Can you do, you know what I mean? Can you do all this stuff without? Oh, hold on. I just found my son's phone dying. I'm like, oh, he at school. But yeah, can you confidently say that I'm ready for this stuff? If you can't say that, then just wait, and it's okay, and that's okay, and that's okay. Like I feel like I'm still, I'm still waiting on my turn, right? And I use the term, my turn like lightly, but like I'm still waiting on my turn. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like I said earlier, like I'm praying that the situation work out. And I've done some great things. Like I'm not gonna knock anything that I've done for take it for granted, or I'm appreciative of everything that I ever done. But there's still more for us. You too, bro. Like everybody that's watching, there's still more out there. We just got to make sure when the time is and when it's your time, bro. Like it's your time, and make sure you go 1,000% in everything that you do. But you're only as great as your performance. I had a lot coming up. I have a lot coming up, right? And then the main thing Chris told me, he was like, "Hey, you don't want to do a gig and and be like, damn, I could have did better, or dang, this was good, but I definitely could have did a lot better." So you don't want to be that person. Let's not be that person. I ain't saying go for blood, like don't overplay, and you know what I mean, but just be great, be great. But if you're endorsed with John, if John endorsed you, you're doing something great, bro. Because John is a great person. He's really a great person. So I'm happy for you. Congrats on that. Peace. Which bass solo? I'm trying to think of which one you talk about. I try to avoid solos as much as possible. Like avoid solos. Even though if I had the solo, all I'm do is play what the singer's singing, or play, sing the song in my version instead of just playing whatever. Like bass is the best instrument on earth, by the way. So I'm trying to think of a solo. I usually don't be soloing, bro. I must have been overplaying if if you think it's a solo. So that's funny. Um, I'm playing out this Quad Cortex, so I'm still working on it, working on my chain or whatever. But I got a solid. I might redo my IR capture because as you can hear, you hear that. Hold on, like that hum. I have a gate on here where it makes it disappear, but like I don't like it. Oh, closer. Oh yeah. So that's funny. So what I do, dang, I don't want to get copywritten. So what I do is I practice bass. How I learn bass is listening to singers. So like Brandy and like everybody else who I think are dope singers or dope songs that have great melodies. I know the song's in D. I don't remember the rest of it though. But like singing the melody, I like stuff that I can just play the whole song. If I can play the whole song, then I'm in a great position. I think that's how you come up with better lines when you're playing live bass, right? Or um, you know, if you're trying to chain your stuff together like guitar players, it makes it a whole lot easier when coming up with lines or licks or whatever. So the melodic stuff. Um, this is a filter, like just like a regular funk, like a funk filter. Like just a regular funk filter. That Thundercat stuff. The stump, my friend Reggie has the HX stump. I think the stump is cool if you're trying to do a pedal board. Like so, like you still got the analog pedal. So like instead of having a bunch of pedals, you get the HX stump, right? And then you get like the Cali 76 compressor and an expression pedal. Like that's solid. But you're limited to routing. So, like I said, I got this because of the routing aspect. I can do more than just have a quarter inch out. I can send. You could take a XLR front of house can take XLR straight from this. You know what I'm saying? And I can send a separate to my cab. I can put my Keybase in this too as well. Also too as well. That's so it's such bad grammar. I can plug my Keybase in this as well. So but the HX stump is super solid. My boy Reggie Rhett um, has it. So his setup is the AG, pedal by Aguilar going into the HX stump into a Cali 76 with an expression pedal. So that right there is a killing setup. That's get a nano, like a mono nano, and then you just take that everywhere. Yeah, it's a solid setup. Super solid. I like that closer than close out. It's produced by my friend Reggie too. Power chords. Man. me see if they gonna let me play it. I don't know. I might get in trouble if this get taken down. Well, I don't think. Are y'all not getting commercials, right? You shouldn't be seeing no commercials because I'm not monetizing this. This is just like live. If I'm not monetizing this, I can play it. Give me a second. Yeah. Let me know if you got a commercial. So if you got a commercial, then I can't play it. But you shouldn't be getting commercials. I really don't want to play this. What's the name of the song? Trying to think what I named it. All right, bet. All right, cool. So I can play this. They ain't gonna flag it. So I would just play. I like songs where I could just play the whole thing, right? So one of the things that I did was like this Brandy song, the clap. Play. So I play everything with a Felton. This is my Felton too. And so I play literally everything, like literally everything. I played every vocal line. I played every lead line. I played every like whatever she was doing on backgrounds. I played everything. Um, and it helps my ear. So when I learn music, right, I know this is supposed to be about me learning music. So when I go learn music, this would just help my ear. I can hear intervals better, right? So I don't have perfect pitch, but what you can do if you don't have perfect pitch, work on intervals. So like if you hear somebody singing something or a line in a song being played, it's easier to recognize like, oh, this is like whatever the line is, 2 4 6 5, right? Like you can hear it easily without having to like on your bass trying to talk about some, like trying to figure out the line. It's just a little faster. And you don't want to be slow in the industry. So yeah, so this is me playing everything on a Felton.
I'm feeling such a vacancy. I don't feel whole. Wish I can put my finger on it, but I don't know what it is. Looked in every place I could see, trying to find the missing part of me. I can't explain this feeling. Feels like I'm running out of journey, going in circles. Ain't even going nowhere. I'm lost in the middle of nowhere. Something is missing. Somebody help me. Something is missing. Something is missing. Show me what's missing. I'm in a
Man, 615. Let me tell you something. Every time I go to the 5, instead of just going 6 to the 5, right? 6, 5, times 6, 5. It's like little stuff like that that makes it a little more emotional, man.
explain this feeling. Feels like I'm running out of journey, going in circles. Ain't even going nowhere.
To the
Lost
6.
in the middle of nowhere. Something is
615 every time.
missing. Something is missing.
5.
Something is missing.
it's a rhythm too, right? Because it could be six, right? Right? And I'm feeling though. It's another song like when it comes to I can't even call it a sub because it's not necessarily a sub, right? So it's more so I'm gonna use let's learn. Let's learn. Since we're here, let's learn. I'm using my bro Mally music. Mally music is probably one of the best athletes when it comes to music. I don't play basketball. I've been in some runs with some like I don't hoop with Travis Green. I don't hoop with Mally Music. Me and Mally Music done bowled together. Like he's a legit freak athlete. Apparently he was like ranked in the state for football when he was coming up, and he just ended up being a you know what I'm saying being a musician or artist. So um, that's crazy. So all right, all right, song F sharp. All right, play the start two. Right, so the song is on 215. That's the whole song on two, then F 1 5. Right. Take them out, right? Am I playing it like that? No. When I played it like that with him, no, I didn't do that. Like the first, so when you playing music, the first verse, all right, you always gotta establish the song. I always establish the song first, all right, and then I did a fingernail clipper. I can hear my nails in my bass, and I hate it. Um, it's bothering me. So our first verse, establish the song. All right, you up there bobbing, right? Honestly, for the same people, life can be so real. I'm amazed by all your strength, I am, and I'm grateful you come through. Yeah. So I take this my mind is already moving to something else, right? And show my gratitude. Right, I can change the whole chord. I see what you're doing, yeah, I see what you go through. Check this out. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now put your light in the air for us. Everybody singing together, sing a new song. Put your light in the air for love. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Many mighty. You can change whole songs. Depending on this chord structure and how you feeling, what's going on, and the artist, because Ma was cool with me changing his chords to songs. So yeah, don't always do that with every artist. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, if they tell you to be aggressive or move a little more, then do it. But I would say always be safe. Don't get fired. All right, we need the job. See what the vibe is. Also, I had a friend of mine, Dre, that plays. base. He started a challenge on Instagram. If you want to get in, get in. He challenged me to a proof of pocket. All right. He plays guitar with Rick Ross, but he was like, "Hey, I'm trying to start a challenge." So he sent it to me. I did mine. Um, right. Right. And then I tagged Matt Ramsey. He did his. My boy Matt did his. So he did his, and then Eli he tagged me, and then I think Eli is gonna do his next. So it's cool. But if you got, what I'm saying, you got a pocket. You know what I'm saying, play some pocket, and whatever you think pocket is. All right, everybody has a different opinion what pocket is. Pocket to me is not the same what you think. So what am I looking for? But yeah. Any other questions before I get up out of here for a second? Get some food. Dang, I know I can't keep none of this stuff up here because I play music. I appreciate y'all tapping in for real though. Wednesdays, like I said, Wednesdays I will be live for my rehearsals. They'll be Wednesday Eastern Standard Time. Um, Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. As long as I ain't got nothing else to do, and then yeah, I got to do this more. We'll figure it out. Uh, before we get off, what times would like say if I did this like every? I don't want to do it every Tuesday. Like if I can, like I probably try to do this twice a week. You know what I'm saying? So like Tuesdays and Thursdays or something like that. Probably from 12 to whatever. You know what I'm saying? Um, or every Tuesday or whatever. Just let me know and then we'll figure it out. And yeah, let's do it. But I definitely appreciate it. I'm super appreciative of you guys because you could be doing something else, literally, instead of listening to me talk about stuff. So we talked about bases. We talked about in ears. Talked about the squad. Um, yeah, if we want to talk about, we can talk about interfaces. Like if you want to start recording your own situation, like interfaces, what would you want? You know what I'm saying? We can talk about that. Like why do I got a mixer and an interface? Like, um, what made me buy Neve? You know what I'm saying? But I bought shoot Hey, we can talk about synth bass. That's cool. We can do that. I'll make sure I plug that up and we can talk about that because I actually need to learn. And I got a show Labor Day weekend. It's a lot. I literally got called to play key bass. He was like, "Yeah, it's a lot of key bass, and I don't know nobody else who can really play key bass in the area like that. So it's a lot of key bass. Um, we can get into depth in the interfaces. Like again, like why I have a mixer and an interface, and I have a preamp. But real quick, if you don't know about this is the Antelope Audio. What's this? The quad. The Zen Quad. So it has four ins, four outs, four ins, four outs, and two headphones. Um, I had everybody has the Apollo twin. Had a Twin X. Um, the best thing about this, it's just real quick. It's cheaper by a few $100s. Does the same thing, same pre, same everything, and it's also bus power. If you don't know what bus powered is, the I keep wanting to say a different name. The Twin X takes a plug. You have to plug it into power. With this, it's bus power. I just need USB and I can plug it up. Um, that's it. So you can take it, on the fly. You don't have to worry about, having to plug something up to make sure it's on. Just take a USB C and it plugs up and it works. Um, but yeah, we can talk about that. We can talk about all that. But till next time, guys. I'll probably do this again on Thursday. What's the day? Tuesday. I'll do this Thursday, same time. I'm in town this week actually, so I won't be out of town. Um, yeah, we'll do this Thursday, probably about the same time, probably like noon. So come tap in. Let me see if I can pull that Moog, that Sub 37 out and program. Cause I got some stuff to learn. So, um, but I'll leave this up. I'm gonna try to make sure that I know I have ads on my video, but hopefully no ads pop up on this. So we'll be cool. If no ads pop up, then I can really dig into like learning stuff and play copyright music. So without getting like them hating on me. That's the only thing about doing. I can't post covers on here because of the ads, and everything goes to Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, like please DM me any question. I'm gonna put my Instagram back down here. Tap in. We can talk endorsements. We can talk whatever. So send me questions, something we can talk about, or something you want to learn. Know about what I've done, where I've been, how I did it, and what happened. So we can figure that out. But till next time, I'm gonna leave this up. I appreciate y'all.